Joining us now is Patti Smith from Fox Sports Southwest, who does the Texans pre- and post-game show. Patti, just first of all, what in the world of all the problems that they had this week concerns you the most as they go down the road?
Well, I would say, Robert, number one is stopping the run. I mean, when you have a guy like Jennings who did virtually the same thing when he was with Oakland last year, and sometimes people just kind of players get in their heads that they have a lot of success against a team, so some of it becomes mental. But this guy, with his 176 yards, whatever it was, really just ran all over the Houston Texans. So I would say stopping the run as we start preparing for Buffalo. They've got a two-headed monster there, so that's a concern. Third down conversions from our offense is probably another concern. That's something that the Texans and Ryan Fitzpatrick had done really well up until this point. And I don't think we got one even until the fourth quarter. So that is those two things probably stand out for the most. And, of course, turnovers.
We thought this year it might be a little bit different, that J.J. Watt wouldn't have to be carrying the load quite as much. He would get a little bit of help. And I think one of the big things that I saw is I was hoping that the physicalness of the defense would be a little bit more. But part of that is we thought we would have Clowney and Nix. Is that something that you're worried about? And do you think we're going to see Nix pretty soon?
I think so. Honestly, I do. I mean, he is a guy that was brought here because he is physical, a big guy there in the middle, and probably something this team needs right now, specifically with Clowney out. You know, you've got Brian Cushing back there, who always has been physical, had a great game, led the team in tackles, but not quite the Brian Cushing that we've seen over the past years. I just talked to him in the locker room. He said he felt good. He still feels like he's improving each and every day. He's in shape, just not quite 100% in football shape, but that's a big part of a physical defense that I don't think is quite up to snuff there, especially, as you said, with Jadeveon not in the lineup right now.
With Cushing, is it the speed, the explosiveness? He seemed to make a lot of plays, but they weren't, in the backfield. They were down the field maybe a few yards.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. And in fact, before we went to New York, I talked to Brian a lot. We both went through the ACL surgery, so we kind of commiserate and compare notes. And as much as he feels like he's totally healed, I think there's always a little bit of a mental block there that your doctors can tell you you're 100% whatever, but you can't help but to kind of live a little cautiously. And I'm not speaking for him or saying that he is, but I think that just comes with time. He's in there. He's, like I said, leading the team in tackles yesterday, but I just don't think we're seeing 100% of the Brian Cushing that we've seen in previous years.
A lot was made of Foster's absence. Alfred Blue, I thought, played very well. I think a couple of areas where they missed Arian was in some of those short yardage situations that he's so good at. And also with, Blue doesn't have the experience as far as blocking for the quarterback and that sort of thing. What did you see from Alfred Blue? And do you think Arian Foster played a huge role? His absence played a huge role or no?
Well, I mean, I'm a huge Alfred Blue fan, so I was excited for him to get the start. I think the kid's got a lot of potential, but you said it best. He's young, he's inexperienced, all those things that Arian does second nature that we maybe take for granted. Alfred's not quite there yet. So, you can nobody is diminishing Arian at all, but fans can say, we want to see Alfred, but you're going to lose a lot when you go from one of the premier backs in the league in Arian Foster to a rookie in Alfred Blue, regardless of his potential. You also have to keep in mind how much Arian contributes catching passes, whether they're short, down the field, little screen passes out of the backfield. That's huge for this offense. So, I talked to both Arian and Alfred, and Arian passed on some advice to him before the game and, told him just do you, be you, don't try to, kind of fill in for anything other than what you do best. And I think Alfred did a great job of it. I don't think we probably could have expected anything more from him. But yeah, this offense definitely missed Arian Foster.
Finally, this week they play the Bills, and it seems like it's a big game for the Texans because last year they couldn't get over losing. They couldn't bounce back. This is a big test for Bill O'Brien and his staff. This is their first big test, it feels like, as a coaching staff to see how they react to this.
Well, they'll tell you every single week is a big test. So this one is the game at hand. So, yes, it's the biggest test right now. But you're talking about another 2-0 team like the Texans that just lost their first game. They're sitting at 2-1 at the loss to San Diego. But, they've got, as I mentioned earlier, they've got that two-headed monster in the backfield. Spiller is he's very capable of just whipping off that big play at any given time. The two of them, with Fred Jackson, the two of them combined is, as I said, a little concerning to stop based on what we just did against the run this last week. But I think the Texans will regroup. I'm expecting them to take care of Buffalo this week, and it'll be a fun game to watch.
I want to get it right before I close with you. You got the Texans pre- and post-game show. It's Texans Countdown Live. And what are those two shows?
Texans Countdown Live. It will be at 10 a.m. on Sunday morning on Fox Sports Southwest, and then flip back over to Southwest for Texans Wrap Live. We've got a live 1-hour post-game show kind of wrapping up the entire game. We've got podium sound, locker room sound, analysis, all kinds of great stuff. And hopefully we'll be wrapping up win number 3 for the Houston Texans.
Thanks so much, Patti.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You can listen to more of our interviews and podcast on HoustonSportsTalk.net. Subscribe to Houston Sports Talk for free on iTunes or on the Stitcher app.